Hey, if you're returning, welcome back to Market Wolf. I am the Market Wolf. If you are new here, please stick around, check out the last video, very important, and like, subscribe, and share. That would be awesome. It keeps me motivated to keep doing what I'm doing here, and if I'm motivated, that's good for you, it's good for me, because we're all learning together. I want to start out on the S&P 500. We cover the S&P 500, the VIX, and also UVXY here. And I want to start out with the 30-minute on the S&P 500. And we see here that, again, we have completed this bearish divergence. And it almost looks like we have a little tiny bear flag here on the 30-minute. We can see we had a lot of exiting volume. It decreased a bit, and then we started to increase exiting volume again. So very bearish on the 30-minute, even though we are oversold. And we'll see what might happen with that a little bit later. Let's take a look at I'm going to skip the 2-hour for now. I want to look at the 4-hour time frame. You can see that we also have confirmed the bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame as well. We have had the 20 cross the 50. So that's what's happening there. Again, volume profile. We can see increasing exiting, very bearish. Let's take a look at the daily. We have begun our bearish divergence on the daily. Very interesting. It's the 20 crossing the 100 here. But we're getting a little mixed up. We're all over the place because you have to remember this was originally a bullish divergence and we had this big run up. So our EMA lines are getting a little mixed up here. And what that could mean for us, really back on the 30 here, is that we may see a bounce, right? But let's take a look at the 2-hour for just a second. On the 2-hour on the S&P 500, you can see we have confirmed this bearish divergence through not only the 20 but also the 50 as before, and it looks like, oh, I didn't see this earlier, it looks like we may have did it happen? I bet you see it before I do. It happened. We had the 20 cross the 200 on the 2-hour. So we have, we've confirmed this bearish divergence. And I've thought about this for a while. What is the S&P 500 going to do tomorrow? What's my case? Well, the only case I have for a bull case at this point is that we're oversold everywhere for the most part, except for the daily. And that's about average. We could certainly bounce up. I do think, like down here we see on the 2-hour, we could definitely get a pedestrian bounce. We may back test 441. If we really get a rip tomorrow, we start doing some whipsaw action, I think we could come all the way up to 446, because you've got to remember on that daily time frame we're all mixed up, and it's like it was a bullish divergence and then it turned into a bearish divergence before it even really finished the bullish divergence. So we've got a lot going on here that we have to take into consideration. But overall, when I look at the 2-hour, I'm remaining extremely bearish, which is good for UVXY. Look, I think that really, in reality, look at the pattern. Look at the pattern that's forming here, right? What's the next logical move? Just keep it simple, right? Now, the market's never simple. Anything could happen. But maybe we back test, right, 441. Maybe we back test 442. Heck, maybe we even really back test 443. But then I wonder how much volume is actually going to be there. I have to look at what's in front of me. So as far as my opinion goes, I think that we remain bearish. I think we complete this pattern to a degree. How far down we go, that's an open question. Do we continue to fall all the way back down? Probably not. I suspect that we might bottom out, if we're going to bottom out tomorrow, around 436. Okay, that's what I would be looking at there if this continues to fall like a waterfall. So it's definitely possible, though. We could get a whipsaw. It could rip up. Definitely a possibility. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX will help us with that idea a little bit more. And if you weren't here for the last video, I just want to point out that you need to go back and look at that, because I'd cover why this potential symmetrical triangle on the VIX is so important. And really cool today if you're playing UVXY, right? We've got the double tap here from yesterday. We're falling down this channel. Boom, we hit the 20 and we're on our way back up. Volatility is on, right? Now, do we get a rejection here tomorrow when we open? Do we come back down? Do we continue to hold our support here on this symmetrical? That's what's important. And do we coil up? It'll be amazing to watch. Again, go back to the video yesterday. Watch what I spoke about there. So important for us to keep an eye on that together. Okay, UVXY. So, if we get a quick fall tomorrow, and that in the S&P 500, volatility could spike. We might complete this cup. We might put on a handle. We might come up a whole nother level, perhaps to 1530 range, somewhere in there. If things get really crazy, maybe even 1589. Look, I'm not saying we couldn't get bullish, but again, I just look at that 2 hour on the S&P 500, and this pattern is just screaming, complete me. So I think at least, I know I said a little lower, but at the very least, 43665 has to be, right? Now, whether we get a pedestrian bounce tomorrow and then come back down, I think that's probably the likely scenario because we are overbought. What else? I think that's all I've got for you today. Oh, one other thing, real quick. Notice here on UVXY that though we are overbought on the 30, we are starting a bullish divergence here. Now, you want to go back and check out that rip during COVID on UVXY. This is another reason, if you're just tuning in, you need to go back and see how much money you can make. Go back to that first video. I reiterate that. It's so important. See how much money you could potentially make this time on a market crash rip. But this is the kind of thing you got there. You got a bullish divergence there. And I believe it was on, I want to say it was on the 2 hour and maybe even the daily. That's something I'll have to go back and check. Don't want to make this video too long. Just wanted to give you a quick update so you can be ready for tomorrow. Be ready for the bear case. Be ready for the bull case. I gave you both cases. Remember, don't be a bear. Don't be a bull. Be a wolf. Hey, I'm a wolf. I think the Bears might win tomorrow. I favor them tomorrow. Does that mean that we couldn't rip? Hey, I don't know that we're not in a bear market here. I think we could have whipsaws all over the place, so I'm not ruling anything out, but I'm just giving you logically what I'm seeing, what the charts say. Should you listen to me? No, I am not a financial advisor, but it would be smart to read those charts. See you next time, fellow wolves.